into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey, what's up, everybody? You are tuned into AFTERBUZZ TV for the show Ballers. I am your host, Bamm Ericsen, and I would like to introduce my panel.
Hey, everyone, I'm Sofia Stanley.
What's up, guys? It's Emile Ennis Jr.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Kennelia.
And we have a very special guest in the AFTERBUZZ building. He plays the character of Jason. Please welcome Mr. Troy Garity to AFTERBUZZ TV. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, guys.
No, thank you. And so we have a lot to discuss, so let's get right into it. So how would you guys feel if your mother was dating some little Pop-Tart? He's in your mom's house, and they're knocking boots.
I mean...
He's in your mom's house playing with your dead father's toys.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would feel some kind of way. If he were ugly, I'd be like, I mean, whatever. But if he were fine, I would feel even more away, because if he were closer to my age, I would be like, dang, like that's my dating pool. I would feel away. But mom has to get her life too. So I don't.
You are on you're in a whole other stratosphere. You're talking about are you implying that you may be jealous if he's your age and he's fine?
If he were fine, I would. I'd be hating. Like if Idris Elba was dating my mom, I'd be like, you know what, I can't.
Oh my gosh.
I lost all my words.
Okay.
I think you'd be mad for several reasons, and the first of which is because it's one thing to date a woman who is significantly older than you. It's another thing to then meet her son, who you obviously know is an agent and is a well-respected agent, and then to have the audacity the first time you meet him to be like, oh yeah, like I use your dad's clubs. So meaning what he's really saying is, not only did I boink your mom, I'm aware that your dad is dead, and I'm kind of boinking him too. But I'm using the other word without using it.
Let's walk through this in steps. Mother calls and says, I have someone special in my life I want you to meet. So you're like, by the way, I'm the product of divorce. So I can tell you firsthand, it is never nice, or for me, to meet someone that my mother's dating. I'm just, I don't know, territorial. To me, it's my mom, not your lover. So on the show, Marla Thomas, my mother, calls me and says, I want you to meet my boyfriend. Great. First thing she says is, we're exclusive. What does that mean, Mom? She goes, no more sex outside the relationship.
Oh my God.
That's some whole other thing. Then you turn the corner and it's a child. That's all red. I can't do it. Can't do it. And you know, let me tell you, in Hollywood, Florida, there's a giant, there's like a lot of senior assisted living centers. It's one of the largest retirement communities in the country. Also, one of the highest areas of sexually transmitted diseases in the country, that a couple years ago had one of the biggest syphilis outbreaks ever.
Oh, you dropping that knowledge.
And not what? Look, I'm an actor. You got to do your research. I looked into it.
Whoa.
These old people, our parents, our seniors who are like, oh, no, don't worry about me. I'll just go to a retirement home. They're like, look, I'm on borrowed time. They're not using any protection, free love. They're having sex and, you know, and all the little pools and everything. It's happening. It's true.
I'm gonna need Grandma to wrap it up.
Now how you feel?
That's I'm gonna need Grandma and Granddad to wrap it up.
Your face says it all.
On the flip of that, let me take David's side for about 6 seconds, and then I'm gonna jump back on. If my girlfriend is allowing me to use the golf clubs and say, oh, okay, it's fine, use the golf clubs, why is he at fault? I feel like it should be Jason's job to check him and be like, you ain't using my daddy's golf clubs.
Well, you have to respect your mother as well. You don't want to. The truth of the matter is, it's hard to take happiness away from someone that you love. So sometimes life just offers you a bitter pill, and you got to take that. And you know what? That's sort of what an agent does. This is like a personal version of what an agent does. I have clients that I care for, and oftentimes it's not pleasant. Sometimes, obviously, some days are good. Other days, it's a bitter pill. All these storylines. I love Vernon, right? But he's difficult.
True.
He makes bad decisions, and I have to sort of clean up some of that mess. I don't want to take away his happiness. I want to support him, but
Yeah, I think I don't mind the fact that he used the clubs if that was my mom. And I think the problem is, it goes like what Sophia was saying, is just the manner in which he's introducing himself to her son. So I come in and you're like, what's up, bro? That's a problem, first of all, because that in itself says that we're on the same level. And I can already see we're on the same level as far as age, but then when you introduce yourself saying, what's up, bro, that means that you see me as an equal. And it kind of, if I'm meeting my mother's boyfriend who is younger than I am, I need to be where you kind of do a level of respect where you really try to impress me. Oh, hi, how are you doing, Jason? I've heard so many great things about you. But there was none of that. It was almost like as if they've known each other for years. And he's just like, hey, what's up, bro? Nice to see you again. And that's not the case. So that bothered me. And then throwing the golf clubs in there, once again, it's a lack of respect, because I can see where he was maybe trying to bond, saying, you know, you're in the golf, I'm in the golf. But it wasn't that it was like a checkmate. Like Sophia said, like I'm boinking your mom, and in the way I'm kind of.
And he's also, do you guys think that he was there to use the mom for
sure?
Yeah.
Because if on the very first, I think so, because on the very first day you meet me, and you say, "Oh, you're an agent, maybe you can rep me," there's the problem.
Yeah.
You don't think he was just trying to make a connection?
No, that's not something you connect with at all.
No.
At all.
And for me, it's funny. I had one of those moments, the minute he said that, I thought, like, please, Jason, go Ari Gold on his ass. Like, seriously. And the fact that he didn't then made me think to myself, I think that's the big difference between Jason's character and Spence's character. Just like Troy explained, that it's Jason's job to sometimes swallow the pill. It's always his job to be level-headed and to think about the end goal, versus if you look at his character in relationship to Spence is very much a hothead. So Spence doesn't really know how to swallow the pill yet. Like, even though there's moments that he swallows it, then someone kind of like checks him and he's like, yo, do you know who the hell I am? He doesn't say that, but his actions do that. He hasn't swallowed the pill yet, and I think it shows a big difference between their characters and their roles, agent versus financial manager, but Spence may or may not be doing a good job.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so now let's go to Jason and Spence and the Vernon and the whole situation. Should Spence have just met the damn girl and just got it over with?
Is that a trick question?
I have to ask the question.
I'm being funny. I'm being funny.
Well, there's a reason why he hasn't linked up with her that we don't know about. And if he's doing all of this, willing to put up money and cover it from the back end in order to avoid meeting up with this person, then it has to be a serious reason. It can't just be because he just doesn't feel like it. So I'm kind of waiting to see what it is, because if you're willing to put out this much money to avoid one person, exactly,
broke ass,
it must be something bad.
What do you think, Bamm?
What even bothered me, even before Spence agreed, I can't stand Vernon. I can't stand him. I don't see him as this charisma, Shaquille O'Neal personality who's supposed to have this brand. Oh, give me a break, sit down. I don't buy that. And the fact that you had the nerve to tell your team, well, I mean, $150. I mean, I was gonna use that money to give it to you. Please, come on. I don't feel Vern.
Well, you don't have to be this charismatic person to want to give back and to do things. Look at Marshawn Lynch. He is grouchy as hell. But he does a lot of stuff in his community. He has a lot of charity work going on. So maybe they're trying to play Vernon that way. Or maybe he's just young. Some young dudes just are, they haven't found their voices yet. That's why he has Reggie, too.
And also, too, and this is the thing, is because I know that we've talked about this a lot, but let's just think about it like if you're a real person, right? If you're a real person, people aren't blackmailing you. So it's normal to basically be like, I don't want to pay someone. Like, I don't want to pay some grimy person who is a criminal, because blackmailing is criminal. So I shouldn't have to pay this criminal out of money that I earned. Even if I over-earned it, I don't care how I got the money, it's my money.
And I think that's exactly his point in his argument. That's I don't want to have to pay on principle. Yeah. And Spencer is making a decision that I guess I agree to as well, but in reality, I wouldn't. But they're saying, look, it's worth it to go away because you're going to lose this contract with Denver to be the highest paid defensive player in the league. So,
on the opposite of that, welcome to Hollywood, welcome to entertainment, welcome to sports. It happens all the time. Suck it up. Okay. Now, but let me jump on your side. I do understand, because you made a point on another after show. If you give the money, it does not stop there. Yeah. So I'm flipping back and forth, just so you know.
And I can't make a good football analogy, but I'm gonna make a basketball analogy. There was a big difference between how players were marketed, let's say the Jordan era versus the Allen Iverson era, right? So Allen Iverson had a lot of problems, when he was in college. And the difference between how they marketed him is they marketed him like a bad boy. Right? So meaning even his crossover, it was like literally, it was almost criminal. Like it would literally break your ankles. So the reason that you do that is so that if he gets in trouble again, it doesn't hurt endorsements, right? Versus the Michael Jordan era is that every athlete was perfect, right? Athletes aren't perfect. So on some levels, unless Vernon is literally never going to do this again, it is a slippery slope. Not just with this Angela Lee lady, but it's like, have we had a conversation? Are you going to stop doing blow off of prostitutes, like hoes' asses? Do you know what I mean? Because it's going to keep happening. Because if you're really not this, like you're saying, you don't see him as this charismatic, perfect spokesperson for the NFL, then we have a larger problem than simply paying someone off for $150,000. And I think that's the problem where all of the players, i.e. Jason, Joe, Spence, and arguably Ricky, haven't sat down. Reggie, not Ricky, sorry. Reggie haven't sat down and really said, what is the game plan? Who are you? Who do you want to be? And if you want to possibly be the spokesperson for the NFL, are you willing to do what it takes? Like, that's not an easy fucking task, sorry. It's not an easy task to do. So are you going to man up to literally walk the straight and narrow line to potentially be a $100 million athlete?
I think Sofia brings up great points, and it kind of, for me, I think I'm still salty with Reggie. And I think the reason is because Reggie keeps trying to put blame on everything. Oh, it was an Anderson financial party. Oh, Spencer, it was your party, with your party. However, Reggie is the one who called him back to do the coke. So you can't try to blame everything on him. And the thing is, Reggie's too comfortable, because since Reggie is the one who called him back, no, I cannot blame Reggie for Vernon sniffing whatever he sniffed, because you're responsible for yourself. However, since Reggie was the one who instigated that, who's to say that Reggie won't do that again? So Reggie can't be so comfortable without anybody having a conversation with him to say, not only Vernon, will you not do this again, but Reggie, will you stop being a bad influence, since clearly Vernon cannot think for himself.
Well said.
Yeah.
Good points all around. The biggest point being, if he was on the straight and narrow, it'd be a terrible TV show. No, but it's like one bad decision after another. It's true. But it's a lot. Look, it's a lot of pressure. I'm not saying, oh, you're 21, so of course you should blow off some stranger's breast. But, it's a crazy life. Yeah. It's a very, very intense, short-lived life. The average career is 3.5 years. The average lifespan is 55. It is life concentrate. It is a pressure zone. So
I agree.
Which are scary stats.
Yeah. Everyone blows off steam in different ways. Yeah. I don't think you should pay him. My personal Troy Garity thing in there.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have the money anyway, so if it was up to him, he would pay them a nada.
I actually don't think he should pay either, only because when you pay, there's going to be more options. Okay, so now it's $150, now I want something else. Because they're going to constantly hold that over your head.
Well, the problem is he needs the money, and he's about to land a huge contract.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't want to ruin the season, but...
Yeah. It has to go that way,
The
though.
question is, if you don't pay, Dallas walks away from the deal.
Yeah. What did you guys think about Spence volunteering to pay the $150 for Vern?
Well, I kind of got annoyed. I was like, stop trying to save the day, dude. Like, you already gave him money up front. You already are bumping heads over the money. You feel some kind of way because you gave him the money and that it's not probably going to be paid back anytime soon. So the fact that he was just like, oh, cool, I'll give it, like, I'll put the money up. I was like,
Well, I think there's not time for him to allow Vernon to deliberate because we need the contract. And two, he needs to keep them happy because they're clients. Because truthfully, Spencer is somewhat guilty of creating the environment to allow this to happen when he should have been there instead of pushing Reggie through a DJ booth.
True.
Making sure that his new star client wasn't in a hot tub with a bunch of strangers and drugs.
And I think also, too, is that...
Notice Jason was not there.
Jason was
excellent point.
Good point.
Excellent point. And I think also, too, but let's not forget, though, this Angela Lee character has to be important, and there has to be a huge backstory. I feel like Spencer said that he would pay it is because Spencer actually knows that Angela Lee was really coming after him. Let's think about it. Angela Lee was totally, initially, we thought, going to take the $150,000, right? And her only variable, or her only last thing, was that she had to sit down with Spence. That means, think about it. When you literally are going to potentially walk away from $150,000 because all you want to do is talk to a dude, there's a backstory.
Oh, he's scared of shit.
Right, and it means that she came after your client because of you. So really, it had nothing to do with Vern. It had everything to do with Spence. So to me, when Spence at that table said, I'll pay for it, it's because it was really Spence's problem.
I'm going to tell you something.
Oh, tell us.
Next time there's an opening in the writer's room, I'm going to suggest they hire you.
Now, can I say something? I'm going to reach this for the rest of the show. I'm going to be like this. I'm going to be like this, cheesing. Prediction.
Okay, well,
I cannot.
Prediction.
I'm not saying you're right.
I know.
I'm not saying you're right.
but she doesn't.
But I like where you go.
Yeah.
Shoot, let's
It's
get on the
interesting
inside.
because I know the script, so to hear people theorize about it is sort of a trip. Because to me, I'm like, oh, it's a half-an-hour comedy. And you guys are like, but wait, there's
Oh, no, we go down the rabbit hole.
consequences.
Oh, no, we go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm thinking like, was purple a good color on me?
It was. Yeah, it did.
What do you guys think about Julie? Should she have blabbed?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. We say no, you say yes. Why do you guys say yes?
Well, Julie's real.
Well, if your girl is getting played and her dude has an entire house, he has an entire house.
Well,
that would be shady. If I had a friend, go ahead. Come on with it. Come on, Troy.
Sorry, babe.
I'm sorry, I'm so rude. My wife is gonna kill me. She's like, you always interrupt.
Come on,
So,
Troy.
no, go.
Oh, no, this is how we do it here. This is how we do it.
If my homegirl found out that I knew
Yeah.
that her man had an entire house, that's how friendships end. Like, girl, you knew this the whole time and you didn't tell me, I can't be your friend.
And I think also too, because you know how what is the saying, bros over hoes? See, the problem with women is women don't have that same philosophy. No, seriously, because if women had that same philosophy, men couldn't run game. Because think about it, there are a number of times when literally dudes have been sleeping with friends, best friend. You want to know why? Because no one's telling. If I put my stuff out on blast and the other person put their stuff on blast, then we would know. Then we would be like, oh my god, damn, how are we both dating Bamm?
Okay, I'm gonna pause here. So I get what you guys are saying, and I'm on your side.
Yes.
However, she did know about the house. Remember, they just didn't tell.
Right.
So, technically, Because she knew about the house beforehand. And what is the reason? Because from what we've seen, this isn't the first time that Ricky and Annabelle have broken up.
Thank you.
So she's had opportunities before to tell her. She just experienced the love pond and the sex room and all that stuff firsthand now.
Well, it's better late than never.
But would you
I don't care
still?
how you
see what
found
you're
out.
saying.
So,
You're saying that
so since she found out late, or she knew the whole time it didn't say, she should never say anything.
No,
at
I
all.
think she should have told her. I'm glad she told
Okay.
her. She needs to know. However, I think that she should still be mad at her because she was still embarrassed.
Yeah, so basically Annabella had a right to be mad at Julie, is what you're saying.
Yeah. But I think Julie should have told like she did.
I think sometimes other people's business is other people's business. And I know people in life where there's other things going on and it's quite obvious, and I just choose to be, you obviously know there's obviously an arrangement, spoken or unspoken, whether you're happy or frustrated. That's just how life is. And he's Ricky Jarrett. So the show opens with him getting in trouble sleeping with one girl. Annabella knows. Then he gets busted sleeping with the mom. Annabella knows. And she's like, I should have a car. There's apples and oranges here. It's a give and take thing.
And
That's a valid, great point.
And she was, the only reason she left him was because he did not give her a public apology. So this is something
Or a private apology.
Well,
You didn't give her one at all.
good memory,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
all I'm saying about Bella is a man doesn't wake up all of a sudden and become a cheating dog. You knew he was a cheating dog when you got with his ass. You deal with it.
No. I disagree with you on that one. I don't think that you can stay in it and complain, but she's left now. Do you get the difference? So I do agree with you. If you're with a cheating dog, and you know
I got
he's
him
cheating,
myself. Yeah.
right? If you're cheating and you're in the relationship, then you can't keep saying you're at this and you're at that because but you can walk away, which is exactly what she did. She's doing. She walked away. She's not taking his phone call. She's out in the club, whatever. So, dude, leave me alone.
And
Bye.
Bergman was good tonight.
Oh, yeah.
He was good.
good.
That's why I even asked, because I didn't know who that
Bergman
was. I'm
was
sorry. I
good
was like, yo,
tonight.
who is that? I was like, he is
He
huge.
threw a look. He's like, I will fuck you
No,
up.
totally.
Yes, he will.
Here's
It's like,
my
I'm
thing.
right here.
This is my thing. Everything everybody's saying is spot on. In an open relationship, because technically what they have is an open relationship, right? She knows about the side chicks. She knows.
Okay.
She's aware of that.
Okay.
In an open relationship, even though I don't agree with it, I feel like you have to be so honest and open.
Yes.
Literally. So even more than a normal relationship, because essentially, since you have an open relationship, if I'm dating Kennelia, and then I have Sofia on the side, and then I'm not gonna start naming after this people, but I have all these people on the side. Technically, if Kennelia's okay with that, she should know about all the side hoes.
Agree.
So I
Yes.
think the problem is,
And I like how I'm the side hoe. No, I'm just keep going.
You want to be the main?
No.
you want to be
the main.
you want to be the main.
No.
Side.
No.
You trying to be the main.
No. The side chick gets better stuff.
But so essentially, though, you have all these side people. She should know about all that. So remember, the reason why she broke up is because she didn't know about the Alonzo's mom. She didn't know about this house now that she's finding out with all these other hoes. So it's just a matter of trust. Because in an open relationship, there's a different layer of trust. There's a
Yo, Emile broke that
completely
shit
different type of
down.
trust.
That good point.
Yo, Emile, you broke that
I
down.
still would not snitch. And I'm not going to, and I wouldn't do it. I've done it before in the past, and then I got blamed. That's it. I'm done.
I've been in that situation too.
Oh, you too?
Well,
Yeah.
If one of y'all boots had a fun house, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
just
you.
off top.
Should let
But
me know.
I do get it.
No.
She just pulled Charles out of there. So, like, if I pulled my wife out of a male fun house, I might just try to blow everything up.
Yeah.
back
No,
there and
true.
there.
Yeah.
No, true.
I just go suicide vest and be like, and you know what else happened? This happened.
Yeah.
This person was there, and that person was there.
Yeah.
Because you need to get rid of temptation.
Yeah.
And these houses, that's real. These are all true.
Yeah.
And can I say something?
And let me tell you
I'm
something. The TV show is prude.
Yeah, that's true. It is.
Sorry.
Yeah.
See,
It
can I
is
say
buttoned
something? That's why, despite the fact that I love the game of football, no football players for Sophie.
Well, those football dudes be crazy, but that's
Yeah,
that'd be
no.
crazy.
Well, no, it's not. You can't put it on
great.
football players. It's just cool. That's just men in general.
But men have second houses? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, they do.
I don't know. Can I say something? And it goes back to what Emile says. I am one of those people that, like, I believe that there's somebody for, like, there's someone out there for everybody. So if you want to have an open relationship, you find someone who's cool with an open relationship, and then you have in a fun house and so forth and so on. But if you commit to someone and you're like, yo, it's just you and me and we thugging this out, and then you have a fun house, all I have to say is I'm Jamaican. So
Can I say this?
It's going to go a completely different way.
Yeah.
That's going to be like NC-17 movie, TV show. Not some real bullshit.
Just as
Nobody.
No, really.
just as men,
Nobody, no crap.
just as men have fun houses and other houses at their disposal that the wife doesn't know about, I know plenty women who have bank accounts with a lot of money stashed and without the men knowing anything about it too.
We'll talk about that offline. That's a great thing, but that's what all women, you should all have an account that your man doesn't know about. But we'll talk about that offline at Sofia Stanley on Twitter. No, really, we'll talk. We'll talk.
Quickly, this is real quick. I just need somebody to answer the question. When Charles said, do you love Annabella or do you hate being alone?
Yeah.
And then he said, do you want her or do you need her? What do you guys think about that?
I thought that was an honest answer. He said, I don't know. And I like the fact that Charles flipped the script. Ricky is a little more not supportive when he was having his problem with Julie. But Charles got his good sense back and was trying to really help him out. He wasn't like, no, F her, go back, bitches. No, he was like, no, listen, do you love her? What? He was like, no, do you? He was talking to him in a very sincere way to get him to think about the decisions that he's about to make. And I respect that for Charles.
No, I mean, I completely agree with you, but I think that it's not just that he didn't know. I think he didn't know the difference. That's, I think, what's scary. And especially in relationship to last episode and his scene when he had the interview, I don't know if Ricky honestly knows what love is.
Well, I don't think you can until you're right with yourself. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's his plight. These guys are being eaten by demons and ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's something else eating at him, which he revealed in his number and his father. And, he's got to get peace with himself before he can have peace and love. So, and that's just the truth.
Well said.
And the last thing with Ricky is, I see why Ricky feels he is entitled to Bella, that she shouldn't be at the club, she shouldn't be dancing, she should not be where she's at. I get where Ricky's coming from, but it's wrong.
Explain a little bit.
Because we men, listen, when we men have when we have you, we have you. I can go and bag bitches. You can't go and mess with other dudes.
But we're broken up.
Who cares?
Okay.
In our mind, you left, but you're coming back.
No, this is a thing though. Is that I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole for a little bit. Okay,
It's wrong.
No.
But this is how we
I'm gonna go
think.
this rabbit hole for a little bit. I feel like that's very old school. Okay. However, this is the difference between old school when men supposedly stepped out. It never affected the family. It never affected the family. So the fact that Ricky had to change teams because you were fucking some broad in the bathroom, that affected the family. That's why you had to go to another team. The fact that then you continued to screw your teammate's mom, that affected the family. Then you're not being a man. Because back in the day, if I could control you and you couldn't step out, but I could do whatever I wanted to do, it's because it was always in this subset that nobody knew about. Ricky is messy. And Ricky isn't acting like a man who has his house in order. He's acting like a child. So if you act like a child, then I don't need to follow those rules that you own me because you don't have the acumen or the power or the authority with which to do it. Does that make sense?
She winning all the money tonight.
And I keep practicing not cursing. It's just not working. It's not working at all.
What do you guys think about Ricky?
I think it goes back to, I think Sofia said it in the room earlier. The main problem with Ricky is he still does act like a child, because it was that moment when in the club he saw her with Birdman, and he said, oh, well, if you're going to be under somebody, I'm going to go under somebody too. And like Sofia said in the room, well, you guys weren't there, but Sofia said in the room, he's been doing that all along. All she's doing is dancing and having fun, clearing her mind. So there's a problem with that within itself. I don't think that he should be upset that she's out having fun, living life, because from what we've seen, she's been his ride or die for so long.
You're trying to apply reason to the unreasonable, though. Like, of course he shouldn't be, but he's broke. Like, he's spiritually broke.
Yeah.
I just don't.
But then where's his handler? Not somewhere bullshit. Where's his handler? Does that make sense? Because ironically, like, even though I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth, even though Reggie effed up and allowed Vern to do coke on some chick's ass, he still technically has a handler. Where's Ricky's handler?
He doesn't have one. I don't think so.
Do you know what I mean? He needs a handler. Yeah. The whole reason he's in this situation is because he goes off the wall all the time whenever he feels like it. He needs a handler.
Yeah.
Or at least security.
But if you hire somebody, they're going to be just as dumb as you most of the time.
No, then Spence needs to hire. That's another prediction.
Like,
Spence needs to hurry up and hire him. True.
And they're going to be dumb.
Spence doesn't know what he's doing regardless. So
if you hire someone, they work for you. So
yeah,
what you can do.
That's well said.
A yes man. You're gonna hire a yes man.
Let's go into Spence, Charles, the urn. The funniest thing to me is when Spence spilled the ashes. Did you hear the song that was playing in the lyrics? The lyrics were "White girls go crazy."
I did hear that.
Which is ironic because she did go crazy when she slapped the shit out of him before the car crash.
He died. Yeah.
Well, our music coordinator is the best in the business. I'm looking him up because I don't want to mispronounce his name. It's Scott something at Broke Mogul, on Twitter.
But that
he's
was
done all the HBO shows. He is on another. He's just way up here.
Yeah, the song's very appropriate.
Yo, that was a great catch, man.
That was the highlight of me. As far as that other part of the story about it's whatever. Charles going back to football is what we expected that. It was very appropriate. I wish Ricky could have been there with the three of them in that moment on the field. But I'm glad for Charles. What do you guys think?
See, I like the way that it panned out, and I'm telling you, and it goes back, and I can't remember what episode it was. I feel like it was either episode 2 or episode 3 when all of the guys were standing around with Spence, and they were basically asking Spence, like, what's your end goal, right? And they were like, what do you want to coach? You want to own a team? Like, what do you want to do? Because to me, Spence, keeps walking to me into Jason's territory. Does it make sense? Like, he feels a little agent-ish, and then a little manager-ish. Do you know what I mean? But not financial manager. I mean like a real proper manager, because the pep talks that he's been giving of late, the pep talk that he gave to Ricky in the bathroom was amazing. The pep talk that he gave to Charles was amazing, because it really was like, dude, like just like Troy said, if you have a 3.5-year career and you could be dead at 55, so we're not talking you retire at 55, that you could be dead, or to me worse, you could have dementia at 55, then you need to leave all of this on the field, because otherwise it's not worth it. You don't need to have any regrets. And to me, that's what he gave Charles. He gave Charles almost like the wild card to basically be like to say like, it's okay, because dude, we don't know what's next.
I think it's the other thing is he's the one person in the management field side of the show who can look into Charles's eyes and know what he's talking about, right? Like Pete Berg had this, who directed our pilot. He had a show In Between the Lines on HBO with ex-athletes, football players, and some soldiers, talking about how difficult it is to transition into civilian life. And the thing that they miss is the camaraderie and the teamwork. It's not the lights, it's not the finances or anything. You're raised in a structure and a support system and a team, and that goes away, and then you find yourself looking for a job at a Chevy dealership. And I love Charles's character. I love his journey. I love watching him have that midlife crisis at the parties, acting wild, drinking, and ending up at the house. It just, that's the plight of so many people when they lose their identity and you're just in the woods.
Right.
So I love that moment where, Spencer Dodd can relate to him on a deeper level. Like, this is, I feel you, and you're going down the wrong road, and you need to do this, go, get at it. Makes me scared, though, because it's hard. That's a difficult game. You can't just jump back in lighthearted. You got to jump back in tough, or you could come out lame. So it's tough.
Agree?
Yeah, well said.
Well said.
Yeah.
let's talk about you a little bit. So how did you hear about this project, and what brought you on board?
I work out with the writer of this episode.
Okay.
His name's Rob Weiss. Great writer. And he approached me a long time ago, in 2013, I think, and said, there's a show, no, 2014. Said, I got a role I want you to audition for. I said, great. And came in a week later. After some time, got the role. It was a fun process. Omar was in the room, JD was in the room, and we were just doing improvs and playing around. And I think they were studying the chemistry amongst the guys as much as anything. So that's how I got it. Really excited. I'd never been to Miami before. Amazing city.
Really? Never?
Never. I live in LA. I'm born and raised here.
Yeah.
It's like on the other side of the world to me. It's extraordinary. It made me patriotic. I was like, I didn't even know a place like this existed in the United States. Like, it's really, it's an extraordinary place. I really love it. I don't know about the rest of Florida, but right there is amazing. Highly recommend it. Anyone who gets the opportunity to go there. It's great.
Nice.
And there's a big youth movement, I feel like kids who are like priced out of bigger cities or other areas opened up little places to like revitalize parts of downtown Miami, and they have their little restaurants and shops and stores, and it's great. It's like real culture. It's beautiful.
Have you guys got word when you guys are going to start shooting for season 2 yet?
I think the rumor is November, but everything, it shifts, so you never quite know.
Like, you've been acting for such a long time. What would you say is the biggest struggle for you as an actor?
Oh man, keeping hope alive. It's hard. It's a long grind, because you don't want to take it personally, but you get rejected constantly, and you try not to compare yourself to people, but eventually you find peace with that process, and someone throws you a job and you try to do as well as you can, but all this could be over tomorrow.
Yeah.
So just, I love it, and I love the process of acting. I think it requires you to be present, and especially on stage, and that's a exciting thing to me.
I have a question. I think your theatrical debut is like amazing, because you were on, as a kid, you were on the film on Golden Pond.
Well,
you had a part, and I'm just saying, as a kid,
I didn't audition. I wasn't an actor.
Okay.
I just was born into that seat.
Okay.
So that was, on Golden Pond was a play on Broadway. And my mother is Jane Fonda, an actress, and her father is Henry Fonda, a great actor. And she always wanted to do something with him. And there was this play about a daughter with a strained relationship to her father, and trying to develop a relationship before he passed. And so she bought the play and turned it into a film. And the beautiful part of that is that we all spent the summer on this lake filming the movie, the whole family. And it was, as they were making the film, it was the one time that we all really were able to come together as a family and become closer and share experience. So it was great. So it's not a theatrical debut. They were just like, Troy's here, just sit him down on the dock and let him fish. That was really it.
Was it at that moment that you decided that this is something that you want to pursue, or was it later down the road?
I was into like Superman and like Spider-Man. I was like, it's the most boring thing in the world. I was like, I don't know what they were doing. No, I was not a theater. I wanted to be a painter. I was not in a theater. I was not into any of it. My parents had a performing arts camp that I attended and then worked at, and kids would come up in 2-week cycles, and each session, 2-week session, the kids would write a play, and that would involve dance and music and art and theater. And you'd write a play about your life and society, and then you'd perform it. Now, it's like more like commedia dell'arte. It'd be like there's a framework, and you can improv within the structure. And so I grew up doing that, but it wasn't a career thing. It was just summer camp where you fall in love and it's the most important thing in the world, and then 2 weeks later you fall in love again. And it's like to live and die over some girl you'll never see again. So, but I wanted to be a painter, like my grandfather was a great painter. When I was 14, I went to the circus, the Cirque du Soleil, and there was a girl came out on stage, and I was just like, and I became obsessive and talked I made friends with the janitor, and I would sneak out of my house at night and pick up bottles with him and recycle the bottles in order to get myself onto the circus campus. And I got myself on the circus campus so I could get near this girl, and I asked her out, and we started like kind of dating a little bit. And there's a point to this. And in hindsight later, I realized that it wasn't necessarily her, but there's a beauty to performance that reminded me of the happy times of my life when I was young doing these plays at camp. And that's what was attractive to me. And when I had that realization, I moved to New York and went to theater school. But I think that there is this thing on stage and in music, that this presence that is so attractive to people, it speaks to you. So that's, if I had to pursue something, that's what I wanted to pursue. So I went to theater school and did plays and did dance and all these things in New York, and moved out to LA, and they're like, great, you're, cop number 4. And then the audition, like, bang, die, copper, right? That's why you do, you play Stanley Kowalski off Broadway to come out here to play, like, waitress number 4. But it's fun. Whatever. That's how I got into acting, by accident.
Gotcha. And then, go ahead.
No. Sorry.
However, I have to say, it was an option to me.
Yeah.
It was in my family. So there's a lot of people who are so extraordinarily talented who it's just not a presented reality, because it's not even like, you don't think that that's what you can do with your life. There's other priorities from your family and society, so you don't even think about it.
Do you still paint? Because you definitely, like, I feel like the energy changed, and for me, like, it seems like you have the soul of a painter. Like, you have the soul of an artist.
Yeah. No, I don't paint. I occupy myself with other things. But I have, like, catalogs of ideas of paintings and sketchings that one day I will hopefully do, but I'm just too busy doing other things. Trying to, like, killing my lawn and deciding, like, how am I going to make a proper environmentally friendly backyard. These are what I really love to do. Like an herb garden. I like utilitarian arts now. I got into pottery a while ago because I think it's better to make a bowl for someone than a painting. I think we're way off the deep end here.
Again, I like going down the rabbit hole.
Me too.
I'm down the rabbit hole.
You can really get to know a person just by having a conversation, and when you don't speak about, well, what's it like working with
you can go on YouTube for that.
Thank you. Sorry. Let's go into Kennelia's cold piece of the week.
Where's the
I think they missed their cue.
There you go. Cold piece of the week of this episode of HBO's Ballers goes to Julie, aka Jasmine Simon. This goes to you. What's up, Jasmine? Friend of the show. Mainly because, and I wrote her name down for her, she's a tattling Taniquia. That's why. She told her friend that Ricky had a fun house, and as a tattling Taniquia would do, she would tell all of the business, even though she already knew the business a while back, but now she's telling the business. And plus, she took Bella to a bar and hooked her up with Birdman. Like, there's some, like, Birdman is cool, but
And she didn't only just tell, she gave details.
She gave details.
You know?
She gave details, and it was best. I would have done it too. So I can't really call her messy, because when a friend is in need, a friend is in need. So for that reason, I'm giving Julie Cold Piece of the Week. Let us know who you think Cold Piece of the Week should be. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook using hashtag Cold Piece.
Really quick, a Tatalin who?
Taniquia. Tatalin Taniquia.
What's a prediction?
I'll tell you how I spelled it too in prediction.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
And who has a prediction?
I don't have a prediction. I have more. Well, I do have a prediction, but first I have a want. I want to see more of Joe's BMW i8.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I need some inside shots, more exterior shots. I just want to see it. For my prediction, it goes back to Troy's character, Jason. I think there's going to be a major conflict, hopefully between Jason and David, because the way David looked at Jason when he was banging his mom, that's not okay. That's not okay.
It was nasty, because mine was straddled. It was gross.
Yeah.
For me, go ahead.
You get a job in the writer's room, too.
And I want to say, I'm just going to ask her, I don't want to say the mom has syphilis. However, now that we know the fact.
I told her to be easy.
Mom burning out here in these streets. Mom burning out here.
Hollywood, Florida, burning up.
My prediction is Bella will take Ricky back, and I think we're going to see a different side of Jason, because, like you said, the way he looked at the two in the bed, you saw a different side of Jason, because Jason's normally very cool. He's very cool. He's very level-headed. Like, Jason's like, I've been in this game. I know I got this. So he's very cool. He never loses his cool. But looking at his mom on top of David like that.
Hi, Marla Thomas.
He almost had a moment where he almost lost it, but he kept his cool.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, David is going to press his buttons, and we're going to see a different side of Jason. So that's my prediction.
Cool. I don't have a prediction.
Yeah.
Oh, I was supposed to spell Taniquia. Teneequia. That's how you spell Taniquia.
All vowels?
Tenee.
Oh.
Quia.
Mr. Troy, can you let everyone know where you can be found on social media?
Where I can be found on social media?
Yeah, like if people want to tweet you.
On Twitter at Troy Garity, and on Instagram at Troy OG.
All right.
Ooh, Troy.
OG.
Okay.
OG.
O'Donovan Garity.
Yeah.
O'Donovan Rasa.
Why did you change your name to Garity?
I did not.
Okay.
That's my birth name.
Gotcha.
My father's mother had 9 sisters, all Garitys.
Gotcha.
I think most of them lost their name in marriage. And my parents said that the wife shouldn't lose the name to patriarchy.
Yep.
So I didn't get any of my parents' name. I got my father's mother's maiden name, actually.
To carry the line on.
I love that.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you so much for stopping.
You're so welcome.
To AFTERBUZZ. We had a pleasure. You're welcome anytime, and the best of luck to you. And we can't wait to see what happens with your character in these next couple episodes and season 3. So thank you so much, bruh.
You're welcome, bro.
All right, so I said bruh because let everyone know where you guys can be found on social media.
You can find me at Kennelia on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
How do you spell Kennelia?
Kennelia. Like Kenny and Ophelia.
That is really what it is.
Kennelia.
Yeah, Kennelia. You can find me at Emile Ennis Jr. on everything, and on YouTube, Chasing LA. And you can find us on iTunes, Happy Hour Podcast. Just search for Happy Hour with the purple logo. iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, all that good stuff.
At Sofia Stanley, Twitter and Facebook, at the Sofia Stanley on Instagram.
And you can find me on all social media at Bamm Ericsen. Thank you guys for tuning in to AFTERBUZZ TV for Ballers. We want to thank our special guest, Mr. Troy Garity. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next week. See you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.